assume that they're just having a little trouble doing that. Yep, got it. Okay, guys, there is about 7 black and whites, about a half a mile in front of him, trying to cut him off at the end of Beverly Boulevard here. We'll see how this plays out, but they are trying to keep up with him, trying to move into position. Keeping up with him really is the wrong word. They're not really able to do that because he's driving so dangerously and so recklessly and occasionally at really high rates of speed. And when they do pull up behind him, he just jumps into the wrong lanes, going the wrong way into oncoming traffic, as he is right now. You see he's jumped those double yellow lines, going the wrong way down Beverly Boulevard just to get around this traffic. So they're taking a different tactic. They're trying to cut him off in front of him. Very difficult to predict where he's going to go, but at least they have the benefit of that helicopter calling out his location. Here they come. Here they come at Norwalk Boulevard. About 7 black and whites at the major intersection, making a right turn on Norwalk, and there it is. Look at this. And now they're behind him. Hot pursuit again now on Norwalk Boulevard, guys. These are going to be LA County Sheriffs. That's correct. I think I counted at least 6. At least 6 that I saw. The only good news, guys, is that as far as I could tell, Workman Mill Road is going to turn into a much more commercial area, an industrial area if he continues further north. There are some train tracks that could get him a little bit tied up if he continues, but in any event, you see he is now using that shoulder to get around this traffic. If the shoulder wasn't there, you could bet your bottom dollar he would just ram right through these cars if he had the opportunity. But in any event, those black and whites trying to keep up, but they can't do what he's doing. So they're going to do their best to keep up. He's got the helicopter right over him, and it's just a matter of time before this comes to another tipping point. Open road, especially this time of the night. On a weeknight, you can see some folks maybe going home, but for the most part, relatively light traffic on Workman Mill Road. Coming up on Peck, which is going to be a bit busier. So if he continues and makes a turn onto Peck Road, that'll be a different story. But right now, traveling at a high rate of speed, we'll throw that real-time speed tracker back up, and you can see he's going much faster than everybody else. That is a much, well, it looks like he's slowing down a little bit because he's got some traffic there, but you saw him do about 50 or 60 on this very narrow road. Once again, going around a little bit of traffic at Peck there, and he's going to come over the 605. That is the 605 overpass. Still now, actually, he's now turned onto Peck. He's now on Peck Road, just west of the 605. $40. Yep. I'm sorry, guys. We're just taking care of a little bit of housekeeping up here, and it looks like he's now getting on the freeway. He's now on the 60 freeway, getting on from Peck Road, and now it's a whole different ballgame. I can only hope, we can only cross our fingers and hope that he stays on the freeway, because that is going to take away at least some of the risk, although everybody on the freeway is certainly going to be in his path here of destruction, as we've seen this evening. CHP almost guaranteed to take this over at some point, but for now you can see those LA County Sheriff's officers managing to get on the freeway with him, but he's hugging that right lane. So you see that traffic. This is all rush hour traffic, and it looks like if that continues, he may look to get back over to the right and get off the freeway. In any event, he's in the carpool lane now, so committed for the time being to the eastbound 60 freeway. And look at this. Yeah, just weaving around. I'm already recalling similar situations, nothing quite like this, but different situations where we've seen attempted carjackings on the freeway. It jumps to mind only because of what we've seen today, but in any event, you're right, David. It is going to slow down a little more. The traffic is going to get heavier. You're going to see a few more brake lights in about 2 miles off the nose. Traffic is a little bit heavier on the westbound side, but on the eastbound side, he's going to hit the brakes in about 2 miles. For the time being, those deputies are still in tow. They've fallen back a little bit, but right now, that driver has tunnel vision. He's got one mission, and he's just desperately trying to evade those deputies who have now fallen back even further. Every time he weaves through around another car in that carpool lane, they have to slow down because they are not driving the way he's driving, okay? They are staying back, trying to keep the public safe, but now they're in a position where they have to probably start calling in some units who are up ahead of him, like we've already seen back in Santa Fe Springs. So likely, CHP setting up for a traffic break up ahead here. Maybe not quite yet because that does take some time, but ultimately, if he stays on the freeway, that's what we can expect to see. We can expect to see some tactics where they start to create traffic breaks behind him and traffic breaks ahead of him by blocking off those entrance ramps. And we'll see what they do with the exit ramps. But that all requires manpower and personnel, and we don't know what they have ready at their disposal at the moment. But in any event, those calls are going out now, and California Highway Patrol ready to help out the LA County Sheriff's Department here as we continue eastbound on the Pomona Freeway. He's basically been gassing it and flooring it wherever he's had the opportunity. Now, this is concerning. He's now on the shoulder, but he's gotten all the way back over to the right. As I mentioned, that traffic that I was talking about, that's what you're looking at here. It's too much traffic for his liking, and I predict that he's going to take one of these upcoming exit ramps here. So we'll look out for that as we try and come around the driver's side here in just a minute, but he is hugging that right lane, and I'm not exactly sure. This is going to be, let me just double check here. I think this is going to be perhaps, that might be Rose Hills Road, the next exit ramp here. In any event, he is committed. Look at this. He's actually moving over to the left, so maybe committing to the 60 here. I hope that's the case. But in any event, as you mentioned, Giovanni, he's just flooring it wherever he has the opportunity, just trying to create distance and space with those deputies behind him. Well, he certainly sees it. I don't think... Oh, there it is. There it is. He's off. It's going to be Azusa Avenue, and he can make a left or a right. Oh, he's cutting that guy off, make a wild right turn there, and now southbound Azusa Avenue. Southbound Azusa Avenue, too much traffic for him on the 60 freeway, and now the pursuit continues off the freeway onto surface streets. We'll see if the speeds continue as they have been, but looks like he may think that he's lost those units on the ground. Still see that night sun shining a light on him, but I don't see those deputies just yet. Not sure if they were able to get off the freeway with him. They're being directed to. I'm not sure if they're off the freeway yet. In any event, he's turned off of Azusa onto Colima Road. And you can just see all of these turns put him onto very highly trafficked areas for the most part because of the time of the day. It's literally the middle of rush hour at 5:40 on a Wednesday afternoon, and every turn he makes, he sees brake lights for the most part, and you can see folks just trying to get home without any idea what's coming up behind them. He's already ruined several people's day, but fortunately, at least from what we could tell, does not appear to be... That's a weed whacker that fell off the back of that truck, by the way. It appears to be a gardening truck, guys. There's a lot of landscaping equipment in the back of the bed of that pickup truck, but in any event, that appeared to be a weed whacker that fell off there, and he's continuing at a high rate of speed, very dangerously, weaving around even the very few cars that there are in this residential neighborhood. He, again, has no problem ramming into anybody in his way, but he's trying to avoid them now. You know, it appears to be a brand new truck. If you look, that appears to be paper plates that are flapping in the back there. So very likely a newer model. It looks like a Chevy. It's a Chevy. Yeah, it's a Chevy pickup, and he's continuing now around this person. But man, he is just I just, every time he gets into these residential neighborhoods, I worry for not only those cars in his way, but all of the people who live here. If he decides to do anything crazy, which he's already done a lot of crazy things, it could get so dangerous. That incident where he ran through that house could have ended in a deadly situation. There was obviously a struggle there. I'm just grateful that from what we observed, nobody was hurt, but there's no guarantee that it's going to end that way. In any event, he's continuing through this residential suburb here. It's going to be, looks like Crosshaven Drive at Calle Madrid. If you live in this neighborhood or know anybody who lives in this neighborhood, you are urged to stay inside because this is a dangerous pursuit that is speeding through your neighborhood. Uh-oh, uh-oh. All right, coming up on a red light here. He's on the wrong side of the road, northbound Fullerton. That's Colima. He can make a turn there, or if he continues north, that would put him back on the 60, but it looks like he's made a left turn onto Colima Road. Again, a lot more traffic on Colima as well as he makes that westbound turn. I still don't see anybody behind him. There are a few units a ways back, so they are behind him, but they're just a ways back, maybe several football fields back, as he comes up on another red light, trying to get around them. Lots of cross traffic here as he continues through that red light, and he's able to make it through. So Colima Road, westbound, is where we are. The helicopter's still overhead, and those sheriff deputies trying desperately to catch up. We don't know that. That was a guess on my part. That's what I have a feeling, but that means nothing. We have nothing to confirm that it was a stolen vehicle, only to say that they tried to pull him over for some reason. Not sure what that reason is. Oh my goodness! A close call there onto the median, over the median, and now continuing after missing that cross traffic just by a hair. Just by a hair. Look at this. Officers able to shut down that intersection. We'll see if we start to see that happen again if he continues in the same direction. But there is now, it looked like maybe an undercover vehicle at that intersection. Look at that. They're now cutting him off and shutting down these intersections ahead of him. It's a very hard thing to do, by the way. It's very, very good that they were able to do that for 2 intersections in a row. They can't continue that, but if they can continue to try and leapfrog his trajectory along Colima Road here, that will help things dramatically. It looks like they've got another intersection blocked off here at Puente Hills and Colima, so it's going to be another dangerous situation, but no cross traffic as those deputies have shut down the intersection, giving him a wide berth to speed through the red light, and now continuing westbound on Colima Road. But just the mere act of shutting down the freeway, it saves lives because it stops all of the traffic. Whatever the light traffic signal says, everybody comes to a stop, and this guy can just speed right through these intersections and not kill anybody. So he's continuing at 90 miles per hour on Colima here, and here come those black and whites. Now they're closing in on him. No, he is jumping from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, now coming up on Hacienda Heights. We were in Roland Heights, and now for the first time, we're in Hacienda Heights, basically paralleling the 60 freeway. So just a few blocks north of him is the 60 freeway, so we're going westbound on Colima Road, and if he continues in this direction, he'll come up on the 605. So 605 off ahead of him, the 60 freeway off to his right, and those deputies clearly closing in on him, giving him a little bit less space. And if they have an opportunity, which they can't with all of this other traffic in their way, but if they have an opportunity, they will pit him. They will pit him and do whatever it takes to get him off the road, but that assumes that those officers are pre-qualified. Losing control, up on the curb, losing control, crashing into another car. Crashed into another car, and it looked like he was trying to evade that deputy again. He was coming up right behind him, and he took that aggressive action, jumping the curb, tearing off somebody else's bumper, just added to the list, guys. But the pursuit now continuing on Colima through another intersection. Here's another red light. We'll see what he does here. More cross traffic coming through, and now a southbound turn onto South Hacienda Boulevard. Presumably those deputies will make the turn with him and try and close in on him once again. There he is, just about maybe 4 or 5 car lengths back. If he slows down at all, they will close that gap, but every time they do that, he just basically speeds up. It's exceptionally dangerous, but you know what? We've seen situations where desperate times call for desperate measures. I think the bigger factor is the fact that there's so many innocent people around him. If they have a straightaway, and obviously they can't do it at like 60 miles per hour, but it's a heavy truck, by the way, so it wouldn't be the easiest pit in the world. but in any event, he's threading the needle. One lane going, one lane coming, southbound Hacienda Road. Cars pulling over, make room for him. But thankfully, in this situation, at least you have the lights and sirens from those deputies right behind him. So you have folks naturally pulling over because they hear the emergency sirens behind them. But this is a very narrow road here. Hacienda Road, as you mentioned, one lane going, one lane coming, and he's going around everybody over the double yellow lines just to get away from that deputy. Oof. It's a windy road. It's a windy road, and he's having trouble. No boundaries, no inhibitions. He is going for it. I mean, I think he's pretty well aware of how this is going to end, and it's not going to be pretty. He's basically enjoying his final minutes of freedom here because there is just no chance at this point. No chance whatsoever that he gets away. Off-roading, he's going to be in trouble here. He's going to be in trouble. He's off the road at a high rate of speed. He may spin out here. All right, back on Hacienda Road. He's gonna, oh, man! He just missed that one. Missed that car barely. It's a windy road that's going to meet up with Hacienda Road on the other end, also called Hacienda Road, where it'll have a little more room to play with. But right now, it's a windy road with a lot of traffic in both directions. He's now going the wrong way, and here come separate deputies in the oncoming lanes of traffic. But really, what can they do? I mean, he's just, other than get into a head-on collision, which is not an option, they're going to have to turn around now and hopefully triangulate more units ahead of him here, which there will be another major intersection off his nose here. But in any event, he's now back into oncoming lanes of traffic over the double yellow lines at times at a high rate of speed once again. Oh man, this is it just takes your breath away with every intersection that he blows through. Another residential neighborhood with very narrow streets. Looks like he's on, okay, so that's El Rancho Drive, and a series of deputies now following him into this neighborhood, or at least two. Okay, so these are the two that were coming. They turned around with him. Those original deputies, just to put this in perspective, appear to have fallen back. They could not keep up with his driving on Hacienda Road, but those two that were coming in the opposite direction are now right behind him. So two brand new deputies engaged in this hot pursuit along El Dorado Avenue here in Hacienda Heights. We are... it looks like a dead end. It's a cul-de-sac. This is scary. This is scary. A cul-de-sac, they're going to come face-to-face with this suspect. And you guys know, and our viewers know, what he's capable of in this situation because he's already rammed into several vehicles, including deputy vehicles. And there he is again, right through, almost missing them. And now, oh, man, continuing right out of the neighborhood. He's going to get right out. I mean, he's weaseling his way out of these predicaments. And I just don't know how much longer this could go on. I just can't fathom it. Nothing they could do. Yeah, right. Uh-oh. He's going to come head-to-head here. He's going to come head-to-head with another sheriff's deputy, and he's just going to go around him. That's the protocol, and you can see they're following protocol. They're pulling over, letting him around. They're not going to box him in, and part of the reason, guys, is because these tactics, look at this. He's going out of the neighborhood where there are about a half a right through those deputies, again, just missing them. Unbelievable. There's about a dozen black and whites, a sea of orcas trying to keep up with him, and they just have nothing, no tools at their disposal at the moment to get him off the road. I can tell you that part of this is tactical protocol within the department because there are other agencies that would treat this a little bit differently, but right now they are sticking with the book and basically just trying to... Okay, I'm just told that he is facing now 3 charges of ADWs, assault with a deadly weapon on a law enforcement officer, on top of all the other crimes that we've witnessed here this afternoon, but just to kind of add it to the list. But you can see how many cops are pulling in here. It's unbelievable. It is. He's backtracking on that same windy road, which again has one lane going, one lane in the opposite direction, and at times he just went around traffic by off-roading into the shrubs almost. It was a miracle he was able to maintain his composure there, but spinning up a lot of dust. It's a narrow road and about a dozen black and whites behind him. But that tire, I think his back left tire is He did hit something. Look at that. More sparks flying. Not sure if it's coming from the wheel well or if it's coming from that equipment, but something is making metal, and I got to wonder if all that stuff in the bed of that pickup truck was strapped down. Very possibly not. We've already seen one weed whacker. Yeah, I think I'm being told it may be the result of one of those collisions earlier on the same road before he made his way into that neighborhood, possibly. We're going to try, by the way, to get on the other side, get on the driver's side, and catch a glimpse of that left rear tire to see what he's working with back there. But something back there was hitting the pavement, creating those sparks. There you see more sparks actually coming from the front. It's coming from the front left. Front left sparks. We'll see what his treads look like, but he's missing the tire again. He's missing the tire. Okay, so, by the way, this is not the first time we've seen this in this pursuit. Last time, there's no way. There's no way he's going to continue these turns, especially at these speeds, and they're going to close in on him when he does. But again, there are so many innocent people in the immediate vicinity of this. If it ended right now and the vehicle was disabled, there is just so much crossfire, so much collateral in his way here. Civilians that are just in danger every time I see every. Oh man, I just cannot keep up with this guy. He's going to lose it. He's going to lose control of this vehicle, and it's going to end very ugly. But at least for the time being, right. More sparks. Yeah. You're starting to get a better idea of how much law enforcement is dedicated to getting this guy off the road. There's about a dozen units behind him. We just saw another half dozen in front of him in the opposite lanes, and now he is continuing at a high rate of speed on a straightaway portion of Hacienda Boulevard, coming up on Colima Road once again if he decides to get back on Colima. But look at that. He's losing that rim. He's on borrowed time with this truck. It's a... barely maneuvering. You see, we're very fortunate that he's on a straightaway section of street here, but if he has to make any tight turns at any speed, it's going to be very difficult for him. But at the very least, you're going to start to see that wheel come apart, and eventually the axle won't be able to turn. But it's obviously a heavy-duty truck. It's built for all kinds of situations, and these are not easy to break down. But you can see he's definitely testing the limits of this truck, and now without that front left tire, it's only a matter of time. Now those deputies have fallen back once again because he's blowing through these red lights, continuing at a high rate of speed, 70 miles per hour, at what cannot be more than about a 45-mile-per-hour speed limit. And he's blowing through all these intersections with cross traffic. So many close calls. It's a miracle we haven't seen anybody get hurt. Now under the freeway. That, I believe, was the 605. The 60, excuse me. Oh, crashing into a Jeep, crashing into another vehicle here, and wiping him out off the road. He just took out another vehicle, rammed into him, heavy damage. I hope that person's okay. Up on the curb, and now he's trying. Look at this again, ramming into more cars and trucks. Head on. Unbelievable. Head on with another car. And here comes not even a pit maneuver, but they rammed into him from behind, into a gas station. Folks getting gas at the corner of Gale and Hacienda, into a gas pump. And now he's going to try and get out probably. But no, he's going to put it in reverse. Back in reverse towards that deputy. Look at this. Ramming into the front end. They're shooting at him. They're shooting. We're going to wind out. And they are now firing into the cab of that pickup truck. Unbelievable. They are using force. Deadly force is being employed at this moment to try and stop this madness in the middle. They are stopped. They have stopped. The wheel is off. That front left wheel is off. Yep. Is it still going? Still going. So his foot's on the gas. Unbelievable. Foot on the gas. Bullets flying through that truck. And now we'll see as they surround the vehicle. Multiple teams and K9 units already on the scene here, surrounding the vehicle, at least the rear of the vehicle. They can't surround it completely, obviously. They don't want to create a crossfire situation. Yes. Somebody's hurt. It looks like that's the driver. It looks like the driver of that car that he rammed head on into. It looks like he's being arrested. He's being detained for some reason. reason. Not sure what that's about, but we'll focus on the truck for now. We'll focus on the truck, obviously more to that story, but clearly this ending in a crash with several vehicles, including that one right there. And you can see he's still gassing it, creating a lot more smoke. The vehicle's not going anywhere. It's completely disabled. Something just went through that driver's side window. He's still gassing it. Multiple bullet holes through the driver's side window, guys. Those are shotgun shells. Those are high caliber shotgun shells that have now fired right through that driver's side window, most likely putting an end to this. Yeah, this has come to an end, guys. I hate to tell you, but well, I'm happy to say that this has come to an end. But obviously, a treacherous and deadly situation potentially for the suspect. So we will see if those wheels finally stop spinning, which it appears that they have. You can see dozens and dozens of officers at the corner of Gale and Hacienda Boulevard. K-9 units at the ready. They are going to approach eventually. It could take a lot of time in some cases to approach the vehicle and try and get a better view into the cab. Unfortunately, really hard to see through the front windshield because if we get in front of it, you see the awning from the gas station would be concealing it. So we really can't get a good view into the driver's seat just yet. But we've got to... A whole bunch. There's smaller rounds in the rear window, large shotgun shells through the front window. Just a wait-and-see game at this point. They are eventually... obviously treating this with kid glove care, but obviously they have to take their time before just approaching the vehicle. And they have, look at, there's a fire though. The vehicle's on fire. The vehicle's on fire, and that's going to require the fire department. They're going to have to pull him out. Absolutely. They're going to have to pull him out of the driver's seat. This is not over by any stretch. Yeah, I think that last officer tried to ram into him intentionally, but then he put it in reverse and ran right back into him. There were multiple, I mean, if you ask how many black and whites have been hit, I've lost count, quite frankly. So I can't tell you exactly how many. There were a whole bunch of parked cars and cars in traffic at the end of that pursuit before that major intersection. And there was one Jeep, a white Jeep soft top, that he got wiped out completely. I hope he's okay. They're going to have to check on him. Multiple shots, yep. Thank you. All right, guys. I'm being told that obviously we don't know what his condition is inside that vehicle, but they have reason to believe he is armed inside that vehicle. So now it appears that they are aware of a weapon potentially inside that vehicle. That's gonna, I mean, that whole truck has been a weapon this entire time, obviously, but if there's a weapon inside that vehicle, that adds to the calculus. Great news. So, David and Ellen, they're preparing to fire more rounds into the cab, less than lethal rounds, we believe, and it's unclear. My question becomes, because we were told it might be a pepper ball, but in any event, is it to clear the window to gain visibility, or is it because they still see movement inside the vehicle? The pepper ball leads me to believe that they were have reason to believe that maybe there's movement in the vehicle. It seems unlikely from what we're witnessing here, but in any event, they are preparing to fire more less than lethal rounds into the cab of that truck. So something to watch out for as we continue to watch this play out on the corner of Hacienda Boulevard and Gale Avenue. Not clear on where those shots will be fired from, but it certainly looks like it'll come from yeah. That's what I think as well. That's what, yeah. Seems to be, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, when you think about the number of lives that he has put in danger over the last 90 minutes, I mean, it's just bewildering. But in any event, here comes an arrest team. They're going to approach with shields up, guns drawn, and they've got tactical tools at their disposal if they face any resistance. But the first order of business is going to be clearing that driver's side window. The glass breaker is being employed, ramming the driver's side window, and now getting a much clearer view that we will keep somewhat. There is movement. He's moving. He is moving. I saw his hand. The back seat appears clear. Now they'll try. It looks like he's injured, and it looks like they're going to make an attempt to open that door, but it's not open yet. They may just pull him through the windshield. They may pull him through that window, guys. I have a feeling they will just pull him right through the driver's side window without bothering with the door. We don't know what kind of condition he's in, but you saw what I saw, which was his hand moving. It looked like he maybe had crawled into the passenger seat, and there you go. They're going around the passenger side to bring him out. Wow. Stepping out of the vehicle. Whoa. Whoa. What in the world? I'm sorry. I'm speechless. I mean, this is just, you know... incredible. It was an actual miracle. Absolutely. It's almost hard to believe it's over. I can't believe what we just saw. That's one of the wildest things about this. We were right over Knott's Berry Farm, and as they apprehended two suspects inside the park after locking down Soak City, we turned around. Anaheim PD's airship was heading to another pursuit, and we literally turned around, and here came this Honda Civic flying up the 90 freeway right past Knott's Berry Farm, and that's when the pursuit was on once again. From one to another, we stumbled on this one, and the rest is literally history.